In today's video, we're going to be diving deep into the Turtle Wax Max Power Car Wash Soap. This is an adjustable soap. They can actually say you can go from moderate to extreme, or basically from pH neutral to a pH of about 10. Now, why does that matter and what does the pH level determine? Basically, I just did a video on a bunch of different pre-wash products that have a higher pH, higher detergents, higher degreasers and active ingredients in them that help to break everything down. This stuff is extremely economical. It can be found on Amazon for about 15 bucks for this 100 ounce, or as cheap as, I think it was like 7 bucks at Walmart. Very, very cheap. So for today's video, we're gonna get into the mixing dilution ratios and see just how accurate they are, what pH we actually get to between each of those. For the bucket wash method, they actually recommend rinsing the vehicle down, filling up your bucket, and then going straight into your contact wash, washing from top to bottom. If this stuff has enough lubrication to use as a contact wash. Really quickly, guys, just to jump ahead, I actually just finished washing a vehicle with it. So if you don't want to watch this whole review, does this stuff work? Yeah, it worked well. Does it change pH level through dilution ratios? No. For my test, no, it did not. Stay tuned to watch that whole process and how I tested it. But it definitely did a good job as a pre-wash. It definitely cleaned up the vehicle. It doesn't have the most lubrication of any soap that I've ever felt, but it was a decent amount. So that's it, back to the video. If there's not enough lubrication in the soap for that, then it will cause some marring. You're actually gonna be scraping that dirt across the surface. I'm sure Turtle Wax thought of that, and there's probably a decent amount of lubrication in it. Now with that bucket method, they do give you basic instructions right on the front. 3 ounces per gallon for moderate or pH neutral, 6 ounces for aggressive, which is a pH of about 8.5. And then extreme is 9 ounces per gallon of water to get you to that 10 pH. Now, when we're talking about using this in a foam cannon, the directions vary significantly. So that's where I really want to go ahead and test and see what mixture is best for a pre-wash type of a use case for this. Pre-wash meaning you foam it on the car, let it dwell, rinse it off. It's going to take away most of the heavy dirt and everything like that, so you can go in for your contact wash and not have to get in there and agitate. Just a nice light touch for your contact wash, gets everything off and makes the paint look perfect. The foam sprayer application directions on this state 2 different things. Right here, foam sprayer, okay? It states use a dilution ratio of 1 to 1, so 50%. But then it says, for maximum foam and cleaning use, use full strength. So this purely into the foam cannon and then foam it. Under the directions, there is a separate portion that says foam sprayer. And on that one, it does say add product undiluted into a foam device. Apply liberally with the foam device from top to bottom. Use a microfiber mitt to agitate the foam and then rinse thoroughly. So they're not saying pre-wash. They're not saying foam it on, let it dwell and rinse it off. But we're gonna be testing that today to see if that can work because that higher pH level. Okay, so to go ahead and get started with this test, I have a few things here. I have the Turtle Wax Max Power Car Wash Soap. I have 1 gallon filled in this bucket, 1 gallon of water. A little measuring device. To this line is 1 ounce, so we'll be using that to measure it out. And then we also have my little pH test strips. Now guys, I know this isn't super scientific, but this is gonna give us a good idea of exactly where we're at. So on the label, it does state 3 ounces in a gallon gets you to pH neutral, moderate cleaning, pH neutral. This level of cleaning will remove dirt and preserve any previously applied wax. So we're gonna start off with 3 ounces in the gallon of water, and then we'll test and make sure that it's pH neutral. We're also going to be testing the pH level straight out of the bottle, guys. This is very, very important because if it's not at least 10, then how can you get to 10 by using more product, right? So let's go ahead and just measure out an ounce here, or just about an ounce. Okay, right here, we're gonna go ahead and take a test strip, pH test strip. Now we're simply just gonna dip this into the solution and we'll be able to kind of judge exactly where it's at on here. So here we go. Interesting, very, very interesting here. It's not, I mean, it looks neutral right now out of the gate. So yeah, it's definitely not 10. I would say it's a 6 to 7, it's neutral. So I don't know what the claim is here. If, again, let me test another strip. Yeah, it's like not changing at all. So I don't know how you would get more cleaning power. It's a 6, like spot on, a 6.5 maybe. I don't know how we're gonna get to 10 by using more product. That doesn't make sense. And now just to confirm that these pH test strips are actually working, I have WashChem's Pro 100 here. This is a high pH soap. I'm just gonna pour some into the cap and then we'll test it with this stuff, because if this still isn't showing neutral, then we know our pH strips aren't any good, but I don't think that's the case. Now just to be fair, this is one that was already used, one that was in the Turtle Wax Max Power Soap. Let's go ahead and dip it into the, I mean, you see immediately the color changes to a higher pH level. Immediately. I mean, it's extremely high pH, right? But you can see it's like up to 13, 14 or so, right around there. But the fact that the max power isn't changing at all is very, very concerning. Here's a brand new test strip just to show you guys. And you can see it's changing color right away. I didn't dip it in all the way, but you can see the top got very, very dark. Again, let's grab another one. Go into the Turtle Wax max power. Like no change. Like barely any change. So definitely not to 10, that's for sure. 9, maybe, I guess, but not really, because if you look at that second color of the green there, that's not where it's at. Let's go ahead and flip it over. Grab this. Sorry, it changed color. You can see it actually touched that one, and now it's changing color. But yeah, I mean, it's a 7 to 6, somewhere in there, which is pH neutral. Okay, so that's concerning to me. Again, I don't know how it's going to get more aggressive. It's already neutral straight out of the bottle. But let's go ahead and just continue with the test and see if we can find any changes. Again, this is 1 ounce into a gallon. Go for 2 ounces and then 3 ounces, and then we'll test. So that is 3 ounces there. Go ahead and shake it up a little bit just to agitate it and get it blended up. And then we're going to go ahead and test the pH again with 3 ounces of the product into 1 gallon of water. And yeah, same, no change. Still right about that 6.5 to 7 mark. Now, to be fair, this product I've had for, I don't know, maybe 9 months, 10 months or something like that sitting on my shelf. I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna go buy a new one of these because I wanna make sure that this one just hasn't gone flat over time. I wanna make sure that we're giving a fair test. So let me go grab some, I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back. The good news is I confirmed at Walmart, $6.97. It is for the 100 fluid ounce. Now, they changed the logo a little bit. Max Power Car Wash, 3 levels of cleaning, all the same essential items that we need. But on the top here, on the new one, #1 selling wash. And it says a little asterisk. And that little asterisk runs to the back here and it says, source, the NPD Group Retail Tracking Service, 24 months ending December 2021. So apparently within that range, this was the #1 selling soap. And I don't know if that means for turtle wax or across the board or what, but anyways, let's go ahead and check the pH. If it's still neutral straight out of the bottle, I don't have to test anything else. We know that the original one hasn't gone bad. It's just neutral. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up. There it is right there. Let's even shake it just to give it a fair shake, right? Shake it up. Let's go and grab a test strip. All right, guys, so here's the test strip. We're gonna go in directly into here, put it in, shake it around, pull it out. Definitely a little bit darker. Let's go ahead and put it on here, and I mean, I'm trying to get the light there better for you. I mean, it's a 7. The other one was a little bit lighter, but this one is 7, possibly to an 8, definitely not anything above that. So 7 or 8. Again, that 7 to 8 range is still neutral. So if we dilute that down, we're obviously not going to be any higher than that 7 to 8. So getting to 10, I don't understand how they put that on there. So definitely pretty disappointing here, guys. Again, they're showing extreme to remove brake dust and sap, which are very, very hard to get off, especially brake dust on your wheels can bake in. Sap, obviously, same thing, can be really hard to get off. Typically with sap, I use Ulex from Koch Chemie to get that off. It takes a lot to get that stuff off. Now with any of the other pre-foam soaps, like the pre-wash type soaps that are higher pH, you dilute them down to drop the pH. This, right out of the bottle, is already pH neutral. It never gets above 8. Like, I mean, you know, to be fair. And they're saying if you dilute it down with 9 ounces in a gallon of water, it'll get you to a 10 on the pH scale. I don't see how that's possible when this isn't even 10 pure. So with all of that out of the way, doing the test strips and everything, let's just go ahead and wash a car and see how it works, see how I like it. Again, even though it's not doing what it states here, which is disappointing, it's $6.97 for 100 fluid ounces of product. So it's still a phenomenal deal. I tested this once before and I only used 2 ounces in a foam cannon and it didn't foam well at all. It was very, very runny. So we're gonna go ahead and do what it states here and use it straight. We're just gonna go straight into the foam cannon undiluted. So again, that's gonna give way more product and we'll see how it works. That definitely does affect the price, right? Because we're using 30 ounces of product. So it may still not make sense that way, but let's go ahead and test it. Okay guys, so here is my 2007 Toyota Tundra. As you can see, it's filthy. It's been sitting outside, it's been raining. With the rain means I don't work very much on the detail side, so it's just been sitting outside and getting filthy. So here is the Turtle Wax Max Power. This is the new bottle now. I'm gonna use this bottle into the foam cannon. We're using the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro. This thing gets a ton of foam compared to any other foam cannon. This is my favorite one. So if it doesn't get good foam with this, it doesn't get good foam. But we're gonna be using this mixture ratio that I used from the original bottle here as my contact wash bucket. But here we go, pouring this in. Again, zero dilution on this product. So a ton of product is gonna be used here. So that's basically 30 ounces, a little, a foam cannon's 32 or 33 ounces, whatever. So we're basically using a third of this because this is 100 ounces. So not economical at all. That's $7 at a third. We're over $2 just to fill the foam cannon. Okay guys, now along with using the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro, which is gonna get me more foam than a traditional foam cannon will, I'm also using a Krenslet 1122. This is a fantastic pressure washer. It's expensive, but it gets a ton of GPM, gallons per minute, and it foams really, really well with this thing. So again, if we're not getting good foam with this, then it's a wash. And to start, guys, I'm going to just fill them. I'm gonna let it dwell, and then I'm gonna rinse. I'm gonna let it work as a pre-wash would, and then we'll go in with the contact wash after. So here we go, let's check the foaming ability. Oh, significantly better than when I did it with just 2 ounces. This is night and day difference, like complete difference. It smells good, and it seems to be doing a good job there. So yeah, if at full strength, not diluted, it foams well. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and let it give it its dwell time. Already though, I am very, very impressed with the amount of foam. If you follow the directions and actually use the full amount, then it does foam well. Again, it's not the most economical though now because we're going through so much product. However, it did foam well. And as a disclaimer, guys, one thing you wanna note is when you're doing this, you do typically wanna do it out of direct sunlight and on a cool panel. You don't want the panel to be hot. I am in direct sunlight, but the panel is nice and cool. It's a nice cool day, not hot at all. And I'm using deionized water, which is spot free. So I have a little more leniency with that. Just looking up close here, everything looks decent. Obviously this truck has got some, fallout and stuff in it that could be clayed out. But as far as it breaking stuff up, you can see, I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me see here. I'm gonna try and zoom in for you guys. So there's a dirt spot right there. And yeah, it's definitely loosening it up well. Same thing goes with the windshield. There's definitely still some dirt up here, but better than nothing. And then when we check the lower rocker panel areas, this doesn't seem to have dissolved at all yet, but we'll see if it has broken anything down when we rinse it away. Okay, so it's been about a minute and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this stuff away. All right, guys, so I have to say it's doing a decent job of rinsing stuff away. So we had all the contamination here. You can still see it's here, right? I haven't sprayed that with the pressure washer yet, but you can see it there. Let me go ahead and zoom in so I don't just completely spray my camera. Right there. So not as good as a full-blown crazy pre-wash like the Koch Chemie products or the Built Hamber or G on foam, but it is doing a decent job. Okay guys, now before I go ahead and rinse this whole thing down, I still have some pure soap that's just dripping off. I'm gonna test the pH level of what's coming off the panel. So we'll come over to this side. This is all still fresh. Yeah, here we go. We'll test it right here. Shake that off. And nope, not there. Interesting. We definitely dropped in the pH for sure. I'd almost put it at a 5.5 to 6 now, which is actually on the more acidic side. It's still relatively neutral, but it definitely did drop a bit. So interesting. Okay guys, so now we're just gonna go ahead and let this thing air dry. It's a nice day. it'll dry up, and then we'll inspect the paint without touching it. I'm not going in for the contact wash because it seemed to do a pretty good job just with that pre-rinse. So we will still do the contact wash in a minute just to fill the lubrication of it. But for now, I want to test and see how well it cleaned. Okay guys, quick inspection, and as you can see, this is purely air dried, right? So it's just been sitting. Don't judge the paint. It's definitely needs some correction, but as far as clarity goes, it's clean. All those water spots, all that dirt and everything, the contamination that was on there is gone. As far as the windshield goes, there's still gonna be some leftover residue there, but it definitely did a decent job. All this stuff down here on the rocker panel got blown off. You know, the soap broke it down and rinsed it away. Okay guys, now as I said, it did a pretty good job of knocking everything off, but I still want to test the contact wash capabilities of this stuff. So we're just going to mix this up. I just have a nice high GSM, high content microfiber towel. That's what I always use, as opposed to using a wash mitt and having to clean it every time. I just swap between the microfiber towels. Just going to put it on the paint. Lubrication feels okay. It's definitely not as slick as some other ones, but there's going to be a balance to having that cleaning ability and the slickness, I would think. And again, well, it seems to increase. I don't know. Slickness is decent. It's not the most slick product I've ever felt for sure, but it's definitely not bad. Okay, so there you have it, the Turtle Wax Max Power Car Wash Soap. Does it change pH level? From my tests, no, it does not. It did not at all. Now, when I tested the product coming off the panel on my vehicle, it did drop down even lower to like a 6, 5.5, 6. Now, that's probably because it was mixing with whatever was on my vehicle. You know, it's been outside, and even, you know, there's the term acid rain. It's been raining on it, so the rain could have been more acidic. As it rinsed off, it dropped that pH from that. But the bottom line is, does the pH level change? Again, for my test, no. Did it work well as a pre-rinse? Yeah, it did. It did a good job. Did it have a ton of lubrication? Not a ton, but a decent amount. Like it's fine. Would I recommend this to you? Yeah, I would. I have no issue with it. Fantastic value, $7. Now again, to get that good amount of foam, you need to use a ton of product. So it's not the most cost effective, even though it may seem like it. When you break down the cost per ounce, it's actually more expensive than the Koch Chemie line. I mean, the gallon size or 5 liter it ranges, but 60-ish bucks. But you're using a half of an ounce with that, a third of an ounce to a half an ounce. This, you're using 30 ounces. So keep that in mind. Even with the Koch Chemie stuff, you still got really good foaming ability. But if you're at your local Walmart and you see this stuff, or if you just want to order it and try it out for yourself, give it a shot. It's not bad. Definitely worked better than I thought, especially once I saw that dilution ratio, how it wasn't changing the pH. I was pretty disappointed and wasn't expecting much out of it, but it did a good job. Now that truck has been ceramic coated in the past, and I've used other products on it and things like that. So that may help the cleaning ability with this as well. If you have no protection on it, yeah, sure, it's probably not gonna work as well, but still, it definitely does the job. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked that video. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.